I'm a local psychologist. My name is Dr. Susan Edwards, and I am the director of Team Velvet, which is a non-mounted horse therapy program. So I have a 2-minute video and then 8 minutes of sharing. Okay.
Howdy, folks. My name is Velvet, and I'm a therapy horse for children. Here's my best friend, Dr. Susan Edwards. She's a psychologist, and we work together to help children overcome difficulty and trauma. She calls it non-mounted multimodal therapy, but I think it's just a good time. Dr. Edwards and I go way back. For many years in her Princeton-based practice, she worked with kids who were gifted, kids who had trauma, and kids who were adjusting to many things. She saw how much kids told animals, things they didn't tell. Dr. Edwards assesses a child's behavior, feelings, sensation, mental imagery, thoughts, relationships, and diet. Then, she designs a therapy plan to address that profile. Her work is based in the science of Dr. Arnold Lazarus, Professor Emeritus of Rutgers University. I do my part to help the child regain the freedom to be him or herself. You know, I have a lot of personality for a horse. It helps me get through to kids. I try to be outgoing because I know that when children experience trauma, when they see a loved one die, witness violence, suffer a loss, accident, or have difficulty adjusting, it steals joy. So I try in my own way to make it easier for them to get it back. But we need your help. We need a permanent therapy farm home so we can work all year round. We also hope to establish a regional horse therapy center for our helping herd. Here, we will train rescued horses as well as psychologists to work in horse therapy and continue helping children. There is a great need, and there is nothing like this anywhere. If you are a friend of children, you're an honorary member of Team Velvet. Please help us in any way you can to keep us performing in the arena of a child's heart.
In terms of the passion for this work, I'm a psychologist. I've worked with people all my life and worked with kids all my life. When you have an 8-year-old sitting across the table who wants to die, it changes you forever, forever. So this is part of an outcome of that experience for me. And it's clinical, and it's emotional, and it's very hard work. I have 3 jobs. Our nonprofit is the ongoing funding is my off-farm income, something you talked about earlier. I am a full-time farmer. I do all the manure management and past manure management, which is also a course that you have to take, and the laws keep changing on the requirements for farming. And I also do the therapy, and we have no-fee services for children, and also some people give us donations as well. I've submitted 5 grants, 3 of them have been funded and have more yet to do. And it's driven by this desire to help kids 5 to 12 who've had trauma. Now, if I were just to summarize a few things you might find interesting. Our business plan covers a period of 10 years. I lost a year to an accident I had. I lost half a year when we had to move twice, and $10,000 because that's what it cost us. And so a business plan I view as an architect draws up the plans for a house, which are then built. And then sometimes the terrain changes. You have a 100-year flood, so then you have to adapt your business plan to the 100-year flood. Then your insurance requirements change. Sometimes as a result of federal law, sometimes as a result of landlord requirements. So then your insurance has to change, and that has implications on your business plan. Then something else changes. The building material might be recalled, so you have to substitute additional material and come up with other income. So it's a fluid process, a business plan. you have to adapt it based on what is inside your control and not inside your control. So the first thing that I would say that has been the most helpful and is related to success is continue to maintain creative problem solving in your life. And I'll give you an example. For years, I wrote a business column in the construction industry, more from the consumer mental health standpoint. And one example I always gave in creative problem solving was this. Years ago, there was when employee morale was a big concern in business, there was a large corporation in Chicago that did studies on employee morale, and every year in a high-rise building, the slowness of the elevator came up as very discouraging for people. They got tired, they didn't like it, they stood there bored. So management put out RFPs, what consultant could fix this problem for us. So 2 consultants came in at that time for $350,000 and for $375,000 will put in a faster elevator. The third consultant used creative problem solving, came in and said for $10,000 we'll solve the problem. We will put mirrors on the outside of the elevators because the problem is not the slowness of the elevators. People are bored, and if you put mirrors there, they'll look at themselves and they won't be bored. So the company went with that, and that's what they did. Farming in many ways is creative problem solving because some of the things you run into, you may never have run into before, and maybe some of the consultants have not either. So if you have that as a mental set, that's very, very helpful. Secondly, have a source of inspiration. Inspiration can be spiritual. It can be related to God, to your religion, to nature. It can be related to a relationship you have, to a grandparent who passed away when you were small. But that inspiration is what allows you to be motivated to continue to learn, to do unbelievable physical things. And then the third point I would make is this. Have someone in your life who gives you the encouragement to persist. Encouragement can be cognitive, it can be emotional. Cognitive is this. Have at least 5 friends or 5 people you know you can call up and say, give me an idea. Now, such people can have a 3rd grade education, but they can have wisdom that comes from their life experience, and they can directly help you. And then the other part of inspiration can be just someone who is kind, and when you're frustrated, they'll listen. And sometimes they might pray for you and you might not even know it, or they might send you a card, but it helps you get through. We live in a relationship network, and we need people who give us encouragement and understanding. And then the last point I would make is this. Women who stand alone in any level, in business, on their competence, who try to learn, try to handle the challenges that come down life's path, need some other relationship with similar women because they think differently. And women's relationships with women are very complex. So I would say, if you're a woman, I would encourage you to have at least 4 or 5 women who support you. Years ago, a friend of mine who lives in Canada called me up and said, I'm glad you're my friend. I said, what? I mean, I've known her since we were kids. Now she tells me. She said, I heard the director of the Stanford Health Clinic give a speech, and he said, men live longer and have a better quality of life when they're married, and women live longer and have a better quality of life when they have supportive, encouraging women. And she said, and you are one to me. So, since I thought that was helpful, I try to do that. Now, here is a picture of our lead therapy horse. If you're from Germany, this horse's picture was in a magazine called Der Trakehner. He's a Trakehner horse, and the article was called The Trakehner Therapist, because he kicks a soccer ball with children and works with them. Here's our Mimi, who is very small, and he is very tall. And so in creative problem solving, we're trying to make money by dressing horses. Here's Jersey Boy in a beach outfit. Here is a cowboy horse, all right? Here is Batman, and here is Robin Hood. Now, we have very little money. So we hold an art contest. Kids draw pictures. In this, it's called the ability to inspire. They drew pictures of characters, heroes and superheroes, who inspired them. Churches donated us fabric, and we made clothes that the horses will model in a fashion show that we charge $20 a carload. This was made by a child. Here's a bride horse, and here is a ballerina. This was made by a girl who had just started high school, and this outfit was made by a girl who was 10. This is a ballerina horse. Do you know, my mother used to say, children keep you young. Well, so does farming in a way, being with nature, and so do relationships like all of you, being kind and encouraging other people. Thank you.